Hello everybody, welcome to the channel. It is March 5th, 2026. Got some stuff going on out there, and so let's check it out. Hope the day is treating you kindly. Got our sage here, it's real nice. It's real nice. And I got a new deck of cards, so we're going to use those today as well. See how it's going. All right. Alrighty then. Holy Spirit, Divine Spirit, what is the message that you would like the people to know? Planetary circumstance, please. We've got some things going on. There's some desperation going on out there. Those people who need batteries in order to make their environment or their matrix work, they're scrambling to collect. And since God said this is the end of their relationship with batteries, I don't think it's going very well, and I don't think that it will. But, you know, when you're in need, you can't stop thinking about that kind of stuff. So, alrighty then. So, in the planetary circumstance, what's happening in spirit? What's happening? Somebody's in regret. Somebody's in regret. Alright, in the central energy, what do we have? What's happening? Spirit? Holy Spirit, please tell me what's happening in the world. What's going on? The Eight of Cups. Abandonment, walking away, getting left behind, leaving something behind. Absolute decisions. Disappointed in whatever business they were working on or participating in. In the challenge position. Whew. Two of Cups. Two of Cups. Divine union. They're real upset. You got these fellas out there that they've been, so these divine feminines and their counterparts, for the most part, have been emancipated, but specifically the divine feminines are meeting up with their divine counterparts, and you got these folks that had them trapped in the previous cycle that are really serious about getting it back. They do not care that there has been a marriage. They do not care that there are two different families that are protecting this. So it's odd. In the subconscious, Knight of Pentacles, hard work and routine. They're thinking about what they invested in. They're disappointed. In the recent past, nostalgia. History, somebody might be looking at, thinking about what they got going on, and what they did, what they've done, what they invested in. And touches expectations, Ten of Cups. They wanted your Ten of Cups. It's yours. It belongs to these unions, but they wanted to keep you apart and then claim it. But you came together. So, and look, there's a lion there, so meow. Meow, kitty. In the near future, the Hermit. This says, on the side of the card, it says selflessness and integration. And we've got some folks out there talking about the unifier. So there is like a separation of there's a unification. These barriers that had been keeping everybody apart are coming back together. These fellas, they had their idea about what was going to be permitted to exist here, and they were going to forfeit or get rid of most of things because it didn't suit them. But here's the thing, they were going after the supreme whatever race or whatever, I don't know, but by stripping out what they perceive to be imperfections. But the thing is when you strip out imperfections, you strip out limitless potential. Like you're minimized to this is what that is, and you strip out the entire rest of it, and it's like, wow. So you lose all of a sudden many different potentialities, which is just kind of silly, and I don't know why anybody thought that would be a good idea. But the lens is being looked through with this Hermit card. You're looking at stuff, lens is being looked through. We've got Justice in the reverse. So there was some really unjust things. There's some research going on regarding what has this unfairness, And we got folks lacking accountability. They've been transferring all of their sin and all of their nasty deeds onto purity, and then trying to claim their prize. It's really incredible how deceitful and how nasty this is. And some folks don't think that trespassing into your home while you're sleeping and messing around with your sacral or dumping sex magic onto you, they don't feel that that's a punishable offense. And it's so wild to me how it's just taken to be like, it's same with outside, a man attacks a woman and RAPs her, goes to court, the woman gets humiliated. In other countries, if that happens, she gets hanged, she gets killed. And this is so stupid that it's so minimalistic to these fellas, but they don't understand what they've been doing to the divine essence of this person. Behaving in such a manner weakens the whole collective pool of energies. When you start mixing, it's like all of a sudden everybody's swimming in this filth, right? I mean, you can sit there and try to keep yourself as pure as possible, but when you got some nasty sex magician spewing all over you, you have to then freaking transmute and cleanse and purify yourself, and that jackass is hoping for some freaking reward. Yes, it's a punishable offense. It is not just some freaking little game. It's some little boy looking at your picture jerking off. This is specific intention, and it's not acceptable. It just isn't, fellas. Your way of gaining profit off of these women is coming to a close. Yeah. Tricking, gaining their essence, siphoning their essence, and doing this stupid trickster crap. No, it's not a joke. It's not funny. It's not just oh, poor little boy. No, it's foul, and they need to be taught. You don't just go RAPing women's energy just because you feel like it. God. Knight of Cups. Nobody wants it, man, because we know what that means, okay? So they need a relationship. They've been jerking off and doing their sex magic, trying to get into your energy with their lustful passion and their unsettled rage or whatever. And they want to stick it to you. And they want to come in. Now they got to make a proposal because their magic ain't working. So they got to come in and get physical with it. And the thing about this is they love to FUCK their sacrifices. It's sick. So, hopes and fears. Magician. So yeah, they're doing magic. They're trying to come in, get a love connection. Outgoing energy. The Moon. So they're trying to hide. They're trying to hide. They're having anxiety. Something's going on. This is unfair. There's some kind of a punishment happening here. We've got the Page of Pentacles is in a heavy burden. For what they invested in. They're thinking about this Knight of Pentacles. They're disappointed in what they invested in. We got travel plans and overseas opportunities. A lot of folks thought that the majority of the United States citizenry were going to be transported over to Africa or whatever. I don't know what this plan is, but I heard Pelosi said at one point, and I don't recall where I saw that, but she had stated that the majority of people were going to wind up in Africa. Now, I don't know when's that going to happen or whatever. Something's going down. The temperance angel has the freaking barriers up. It's like, thou shalt not pass. You are so freaking gross. Stay away. Stay away. Stay away. Avoid the temperance angel. Don't go in the energy. Because you're going to get smacked down by this King of Wands who's protecting this Queen of Cups from that nastiness. Yeah, and the wheel is going to turn. Wheel is going to turn because the High Priestess has been working real hard on developing skills during this abuse as her Empress self. Yep. And so now she's out here giving generously to folks. And we got the Page of Swords out here trying to think of different ways to communicate because they're getting cut out. They're in a heartbreak for him to be nasty. There's a celebration here because the Queen of Wands is alive. She's alive. She's alive. And she's very determined to remove the wealth of these people who caused such a weariness for the children of the sun. Yeah, we got some new stuff going on. We got some new stuff going on. The Divine Feminine specifically, and the Divine Masculine as well. I'm sorry, guys. I just, I'm not a masculine, so it's difficult for me to tell stories about the masculine. So please just do what you need to do with the story time regarding genders, and don't feel excluded, whatever, because I'm just doing my best to relay a story of what's going on in the timeline. No disrespect or anything intended. Alrighty then. So we got the Eight of Cups here. Leaving behind, withdrawal, walking away, abandonment. The thing is that these ones abandoned their contracts that they vowed to love forever, and left you there suffering on your own while they and their friends abused you from an unseen space. They prostituted. There's these feminines out here where their contract from lifetimes ago spent lifetimes prostituting their energy, their womb space. They never had children. They never did anything because these jackasses were pulling the eternal life out of her womb. And some people say, oh, slap on the wrist, just, no, teach them better. Don't make excuses. It's sacred, man. And people like me, we work real hard to keep our energy pure, to keep our emotions and our mental body, in a settled state. And when you got jackasses coming in there playing with your energy like that, it's an assault. It is not acceptable. Especially when you're doing magic. It's not acceptable. I'm just going to tell it, and I'm going to say it over and over and over again. Teach your kids better. Just because they have the skills to do so doesn't mean they should, man. Eight of Cups, getting left behind. They're walking away from all of that hard work, that routine that they invested in. They're getting left behind by the twin flames. They're disappointed. They're getting left behind by the twin flames. They've come together here in union, and they're really, really upset, and they want to abduct the feminines out of these unions. And they've been driving chaos and this soap opera of rejection, angry rejection, and it's just going. And the thing about it is, we are the original organic communication system of the divine, the upper divine. Okay, we're here and we're very, very sensitive in our mental body and in our sensitivities, our sensitivities. And so these guys with the AIs, they've got this microsite Wi-Fi, Hulu streaming, stuff. And they force it into us. And, it can be real challenging to manage self well in that circumstance. But you're doing it. You've evolved individually, and you're coming together. So here in this challenge position, they're getting left behind by the twin flames because you did look. And this is bad news for those who gambled you. They're like, oh no, you're married in the spirit or whatever. You're married. You're married. And these guys, they gambled with you. They could have been your twin flame, but not anymore because they did some real shady shit. They gambled with you. And now they're getting bad news because there's rapid escalation of events causing panic. You are together. The truth is known about how they set you up, how they violated you over and over and over again just to try to get you rejected by your Heavenly Father and Mother. And that's why doing that shit in the midnight hour, doing sex magic and all that to violate the sacred, pure essence of a single woman's pure womb and energy is just messed up, man. It is like getting assaulted on the street, except they come into a woman's bedroom unseen to do it. There's no forgiveness for that. An immature little boy. No, man. No. All the better time for him to learn a lesson about why it's not okay. Knight of Pentacles did a whole lot of hard work. Oh yes, Knight of Pentacles, F-U-C-K, to a lot of women, probably a lot of men, worked real hard on this. And they're still getting, they're still walking away. They're still getting left behind by these twin flame pairs. Bad freaking news, okay? Because they got together. And these guys are insistent. They said, we prostituted her energy. We defiled her. We degraded her. And they're insisting that because there's medicine in the body, that they're convinced that they violated the temple housing spirit and soul of somebody else's twin flame marriage union, that they have the right to come take her back. So they're strategizing. We got the history here, nostalgia in the recent past. They want that 10 of Pentacles. They want it. They gambled you. They tried to violate you so freaking badly that you would be forever buried in the pits of hell. But God saw you, and he saw what was layering you, and he saw the true you on the inside. And it had nothing to do with what these people had buried you under. That shit that they kept injecting into your energetic field, into your mind, into your body. They thought that they had violated every single thing of purity, is what they thought. They thought that they had done so well that they were going to be able to continue commanding this middle ground and continue doing this defiling stuff. Interest. Intentions and expectations. So this guy's been working in the history with the interested in your 10 of Pentacles. But the lovers came together. You came together. And now, oh my gosh, it's bad news. They took a gamble. They took a gamble and they lost you. Now there's a rapid escalation of things, creating chaos. They keep sending in this magic and interfering. They call it hard water. So they sit around in these concentration rooms or whatever, and then they project these really angry, foul things into the waters of a target's body. And so they harden, in the occult definition anyway, the waters of the body. And then you have to transmute that or flush it or do whatever you need to do to purify those waters again. A lot of people these days don't drink water, so they're stuck in this energy that they keep dumping this shit into, and a lot of people are just depressed all the time because they don't know how to transmute and they don't know what's happening to them. So they just sit in it. And what do? They drink. And then drinking opens the gates, loosens the mind. And then even more bad negative stuff can happen. And you can get dragged down into a deep, deep, deep pit of hell. Real easy doing that. Trust me, I know I did it. I did it. So they're looking at your 10 of Pentacles, right? And they're thinking, oh, they just want some of this. Yeah, they're interested in it. So in the recent past, you got homeboy here coming up, wanting to grab hold of the little thing holding that little wad of cash together. They're chasing tiny profits, sacrificing long-term growth. They didn't want to be a proper twin flame. They just wanted to siphon the flame out of you. But you went ahead and focused on long-term discipline rather than short-term comfort. And now these guys are like, what? They're like, bad news. We got the Hermit here doing research. Looking it up. Casanova. He thought he was going to be able to F his way to the top. Yeah, he thought if he violated every girl and every boy, that he would get the prize of everyone. Oh, he was going to be the universal pimp star. What do they call that? What was that guy? Johnny Long or whatever the hell. I don't know. I think he died, but whatever. It's like, yeah, he thought he was going to be the universal, adult porn star. Golden Globe Award winner or whatever. Money worship. So you're doing the research. There's research being done on those who worship money. They didn't worship money. They didn't want anything. They didn't care who they had to step on to get it. Now, here's the thing. These near perfect copies of us, they don't feel. They're running on a CPU or something. They don't have emotions anymore. Now, they can pretend. Their tear ducts still work. And they're great actors and actresses. They can pretend. But they can't feel. The only real pleasure they get is that very low vibrational pain and suffering energy. They really like it when we cry. So there's got justice in the reverse, a very unjust, lack of accountability. These people have been siphoning the womb, siphoning the wealth, siphoning the suffering, just gobble, 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 gluttonous, man, energetically and in the flesh. They consumed us in every freaking way. This realm is being run by cannibals, whether you want to admit it or not. And unfortunately, their sacrifices go into the grinder, and it's in the ground meats. So the whole food supply has been tainted, and their goal was to get everybody seen as cannibals. Of course, not themselves, because they don't eat human meat. They sell it to the goyim or whatever. I saw a video where a man said that. But anyway, because of that, it's like I heard the spirit say that the food supply is tainted. And so the humanity got like a pass. They got like a pass, a get out of jail free card, because they were set up. They were set up with this young child sex. They were set up with this tainted food supply. I mean, they were really trying to frame us badly. Now, the problem here is that we've got barium and aluminum are the two main ingredients, as far as I can tell, as far as I know, and I haven't researched real in depth for quite a while, but they seed the clouds with it. And Donald Trump just said something the other day about that they spray something that no other place does, and that we were going to find out about it real soon. So, barium is like a isn't that like a virus or whatever, bacteria? And then you got the aluminum, which is causing Alzheimer's and all of that. Well, this stuff comes down, and it has, the bacteria is killing all the plants. You can see they're sick. And also the aluminum is going into the soil and then getting sucked up with the waters into the trees. So every plant is full of aluminum, and it's full of this barium. So it's sick and it's full of aluminum. And the only way to really get rid of the sickness, I guess, is to burn it. But it's called the prefix or whatever the thing is for barium is Ba, and then aluminum is Al, and that's BaAl, right? So of course, this is what they got going on. And we're going to find out about it because apparently it's got to burn. And that's what I think they plan. You know, they're talking about the whatever Israel or whatever is going to be okay and that everything around them is going to burn. It's kind of like, I think this is the plan. They're going to set it on fire. Everybody's going to suffer. But God's here. So I don't think the original plan is going to work because they certainly didn't plan for this. And they've been complaining. I don't know who exactly has been complaining. The whole network of there's like females and males, and they were complaining that this woman, these women, whoever this is, they're undoing everything that these masculines and their female partners have been trying to do here, and they're real upset about it. Unfair, very unfair, lack of accountability, and yep, lack of accountability. Casanova is not very nice. So there's a punishment for Pizza Girl. There's a punishment for what they did to the children for pedophilia. And all this for defiling their purity and then filming it out into the universe, calling them prostitutes, defiling everybody. They broadcasted these things out into the universe, and they were laughing about how Earth Woman was nothing but a prostitute, no matter her age. And now you've got Family Ties here giving an ultimatum because people who love family, people who love children are coming after these guys. They're coming after these guys. We've got some very high ranking, very high dimensional, actual divine father figures, far greater and far more powerful than any of these guys. That's why we're still alive, is because God's family is special, and these guys have been RAPing everybody. But the bridge was mended. Communications were brought back online. The souls were reactivated. And now there's like serious stuff happening. But we got Knight of Cups. Of course, they want to come in. They got to get a relationship in order to get into the energy and do a transfer. And they're talking about changing. They were talking about changing genders. Now, it's like they were getting reprimanded for putting the atrazine in the water and the synthetic estrogen in all of the canned goods, for messing with the gender of the masculine, because while they were trafficking women and children, they were gender altering the masculines, chemically castrating them and such, and then they were making them their bitch and putting them in competition with the mother. So they were creating this real neat scenario. Okay, so now they got to get a Knight of Cups in here to the females because they got to capture the females again. They're like, oh, we got to put up with the Marys for a while. But it's like, no, the Marys don't want this anymore. And God's giving us a new selection. Savings. They need you to save them. They need your financial cushion. This is a magician. They're trying to manifest their way into your life. Magician, Sisyphus. This is a magician, like the Sisyphus, endlessly pushing a boulder up the hill. They could have done that to you in the previous cycles. And now this magician who did that to you is having to do it themselves. They got to go through everything they did to you. They have to now go through. They're going to have to push that love. They're going to have to want it real freaking bad, that they're going to be able to push that love up for hundreds of people that are all trying to knock them back down. And then when you finally get up the top, yeah, then you lose it, okay? And they're afraid because they know this is what they got coming. And they don't know if they're going to be able to withstand it. Like, are they going to be able to keep coming back? Try again. These ones were upset that the divine feminines and the masculines that they were doing stuff to they kept reincarnating, and they kept coming back to push that love up the hill, to get that up the top of that hill, to reach that golden height. And these guys kept pushing you back down, and their favorite weapon of war is relationship. And they've been making their way up into these upper spaces, having RAP'd all the little babies, calling them prostitutes, and then taking their place. The truth is seen. That's why it's not okay for an immature little jerk off to do sex magic on a solitary woman in the midnight hour. It ain't okay, man. She don't know you. You don't have permission to get into her sensitive, sacred energy like that. It is not okay. You guys got to stop, man. Just because the justice system lets everybody RAP everybody, it's going to stop, because we got divine feminines rising to the top, whether it's in the other realms, and it's going to hit here too. It's going to manifest no matter what these ones do. They think that if they can capture the 3D vessel and then do a ritual, that they will be able to get back on track and manage everything themselves again, extract it out of the woman. So they're coming after the twin flame feminine of these masculines. They're afraid. You're entering your destiny. Passionate love, strong desire bring you fulfillment and joy. Destined to be together, your happy ending is assured, strong, unbreakable bond. So they're afraid of this, and it could very well be hidden. It could be that your destiny is hidden. They're starting to malfunction. They did not assess you properly. They really did not think that you were ever going to be able to come up out of the defilement that they laid upon you. This mask wearer is going to prison for the routine. Teddy bear boy, pizza girl, going to prison. Why? Because you were able to yield to the assault and then bounce back. Hiding is not strategy, or hiding is strategy, not weakness. You were able to adapt and overcome, to bend without breaking. The assault was huge, but you were able to manage yourself well during it, and you were able to break through. You pushed beyond your comfort zone and discovered new capabilities, allowing yourself to be open and grow stronger through transparency. You felt it all, and you allowed it to empower you. And now we've got removing the walls built by cultural differences. You're about ready. Look, guidance from above. You're about ready to come together with your sweetheart. It's been a long, long journey. These other ones are distracted. They're having accidents everywhere. They're distracted by your independence, that you did all this by yourself. You didn't do magic. You didn't have any partners. They kicked you in the teeth when you were down, and you kept getting back up, trying to push that love up that mountain, and they kept beating you, poking you, siphoning your energy, unaliving you prematurely. They're getting an unexpected event. There's a shredder here. Shredder, small offering. Those who did not offer anything, and there's a digital detox. They're getting cut out, man. These AI, copycats, whatever, spreading misinformation. They're gossiping. They missed the deadline. They were manipulating people, exploiting people, and now there's no exit. They didn't do the work. They did not do the work. They got to go back and do the work. They were kissing on people and then consuming their soul value. And it's impossible to reverse what they did to this oath. There's 3 bouquets there. Somebody married you at least 3 times and then siphoned you. And these guys are upset because this curator, these guys, even if they didn't traffic you physically, they were prostituting the womb of your vessel. They were stealing the life out of your womb. They were using your body and your mind as a bridge and a connector to your upper dimensional soprano status. You're a golden child, and your flame is on, and they were using you as a bridge to that space, and they were mimicking you, wearing your energy, taking credit for your work. sudden wealth. They've been making wealth by broadcasting their perverse pedophilia throughout the galaxy. We got a celebration here. Because you give with an open heart, you expect nothing in return. And these people are caught in tensions. She's choking them out because you are the gift. And guess what? The gift is the secret weapon. They could be getting hit with the secret weapon because they're being condemned. Warning, warning, warning. There's an unexpected surprise. The gift, gift, gift. God loves the divine feminine. And these guys have been RAPing the divine feminine for centuries. Woo! Your channel is getting promoted, and this false flame needs a lifesaver. So be careful, because this false flame needs a lifesaver. It's this magician here that's made you push that love up the hill at least 3 times. They married you at least 3 times in the history, and then they knocked you down, and they've been prostituting your womb and broadcasting your suffering throughout the freaking universe. Why? Because you're important, because you have high spiritual ranking. And they captured you as a prisoner of war. They did their best to destroy your mind, and they did their best to shut you down in every way they could, to silence you. And it did not work. You overcame your fear. You pushed through the pain, and you broke through. They did not see that coming. They didn't see it coming because, you know, it was so easy to hurt you. Of course, they start out when you're very young, right? That's how that big, strong man can get his way. That's like, you know, getting 2 dogs, right? You get 2 dogs. You get a Great Dane and you get a little Chihuahua. You get a Great Dane and a puppy, a Great Dane puppy, and you bring it into your house, and you already have a little Chihuahua, right? And the little Chihuahua there, he's like, to the Great Dane, right? And the Great Dane is like, and then by the time the Great Dane grows up to be a big Great Dane, the little Chihuahua comes up and goes, and you got it, and the Great Dane gives it whatever they want because they've been mentally conditioned. It's just that way, man. And this is what these guys have been doing with the youth. They not only been, you know, violating the beauty. Yes. 8 of Cups, getting left behind by the twin flames. Somebody is disappointed. They're getting left behind by the twin flames because they're a third-party hoe. And twin flames don't want that shit in their neighborhood. Stay the F away from my husband. Stay the F away from my wife, right? The 2 of Cups is here. They took a gamble with you. They thought it was great fun to be unfaithful and to prostitute the most sacred connection that they ever had. And they will never, ever, ever have it again. Never. This is bad news. This is bad news. There's no messaging. There's no contact. There's nothing. They're not supposed to be connecting. But they're still out there strategizing on how they can obtain the 3D vessel. Now, they're talking about computer programs and all of this. They want to, like, replace people at their jobs and all of that to assume the identity. So they're really talking about doing, like, a physical 3D thing. Now, I don't know how their vehicle is going to manage that travel at all, but we got hard work, Casanova, hard working, just effing this and effing that, trying to ascend, but you are trying to take out he wanted the ascension of the apples, the daughters of Eden, man. He wanted the ascension of the apples, and the only way that he could get it was to defile and degrade them from the beginning. They've been doing this for centuries. The freaking light of these beautiful children who grow up to be women and then get into the routine of this sex magic and whatnot, they wanted to call them prostitutes and then kick them off the mountain after they get up to the top of the hill and steal their destiny. Choosing somebody else. They're getting an ultimatum by your family. Casanova, Yeah, he was assuming your talent, your skill. You have talent. So the only way that they could get or appear as though they had talent was to go tap into yours and then take it from you and then treat you like a prostitute. Glorify themselves on your skills, on your talent, on your energy, on your love, on your hope that someday they would see you as more than whatever it is. There's a history here of these Mr. Casanova chasing material gain at the cost of deeper connections. They prostituted everybody, and they were sacrificing people on the other side in the shadows, and then coming back, portraying themselves as innocent and pure, and just never was. They were dressing up in the energy of an innocent one. They were dressing up in the energy of somebody else's talent. They were dressing up in the energy of the purity of a little child. Presenting themselves in these upper spaces as though they were righteous men, with their agreeable replacement. So they were looking at your Ten of Cups. They wanted it. They got their eye out on it. Chasing petty games. You focused on long-term discipline rather than short-term comfort, and they are stuck in a bad routine. They're chasing the petty gains of other people, and the only way that they can get it is by hurting them and taking it. They're universal pirates, and they're traffickers, and they cause suffering for all the little babies and F their mind up so that they can then have puppets and slaves when they grow up. The Rose. The Rose is self-disciplined. These guys thought that they had defiled you and degraded you and hurt you and betrayed you so badly that you would never be able to pull yourself together. But you focused on long-term discipline rather than short-term goals. Many of us were celibate while they were pulling the energy off of our womb. Decades, man. It isn't an innocent thing. This is a regular thing that they are taught to do. It's their profit scheme. It's their profit scheme. And you don't know what it's like until you got a room full of youngers. Pleasure, pleasure, pleasure. As they're pulling off of your effing energy, your womb. And there's nothing you can do about it except sit there and fucking cry while they're magically assaulting you. This is not, just like the woman beaten on the street, it is not a sweep under the rug, innocent, immature guy. No. God, guys, teach them better. This isn't okay. It's not okay. This is a mother. This is a future mother, man, of families. High vibrational. We got a miracle here. There's a miracle. Dreams are coming true. You're going to get what you want. There's some research going on regarding these money worshipping fellas. We got silence. Your family ties are delivering an ultimatum. They're going silent. They're losing their clairs. They're losing their telepathic skills. And they're losing everything. The problem with this is that they've had access to telepathy for quite a while, and they know where many of us are. However, their actual royal mother stated that they won't be obtaining you, and to be prepared that they're not going to survive. They're trying. They're trying to get into your energy because they need you to save them. They need to be covered in your energy and protected by it. Because bad stuff is happening. And they need to be seen as you. They need to get in your energy. This magician wants you to push that love up the mountain. They want to take credit. Finances, they need your money. They want to marry for money. Making a love offer. Anticipating needs. They need you to save them. They need to tap into your money, your value, your energy. This magician You could have been in a hopeless cycle of exertion and defeat, and it could very well be that that's what's coming for them. They may have intuition about it, a sixth sense. They want to be tapped into, they're tapped into somebody else's intuition. That's what they've been doing. They've been stealing your clairs, your telepathy, all of your gifts from the age of a little girl, little boy. They tap in and they steal whatever belongs to you spiritually, your inheritance, and they command it while expressing throughout your entire life that you don't have any value, that you're just a sinner. They'll stick you in a little jar and then transfer their foul karmic debt for all the sin they do. So we got a moon. So there could be somebody's having premonitions, or they're afraid that you're moving into your destiny, this unbreakable bond. They can't separate you from your twin flame. We got I miss you. Somebody may miss you. Whoever you are with may miss you. It could be that they're what you're moving into is hidden. We got cool down, letting go. You've discovered the hidden truth. You could be the hidden truth. And we've got to cool down, letting go. They gotta let go. They gotta release you. They gotta surrender. You know the truth about this treasure, and they are running away. This treasure, the tip of the iceberg. There's like a place like this. It's got big lions and stuff, and I think that's one of the Lyra, their place. It's underwater, and I think a lot of we perhaps have been here as prisoners of war for centuries, while these ones have been violating us like this. So you've learned the truth, and they're running away because guess what? There's a commitment here. You are protected. They are devoted to protecting you. And there's divine intervention regarding this forgotten person that has been molesting you and stuff. You transformed through this torment. They had you in bondage. They had you in darkness. They had you in pain and suffering while they violated you from an unseen space over and over again, and violated your mind and everything, man. You transformed. You were in your cocoon. You were in the dark, and you were suffering. And you came out like this. And they're like, oh, F word. What do we do now? Because they've been working on you like you're still this. But you're this. And they're like, oh, shit, nothing's working. Well, yeah, there's going to be a breakup going on, because this person singing their soul song is not pretending. They're very serious about living their life. And I think that this person is probably sick and effing tired of pushing the effing love up for this magician so that they could just get up there and pretend that they were somebody special. Nope. The shadow. Yeah, molesting the children and then using them as a street exhibit, broadcasting this pornography throughout the freaking universe and portraying us as valueless, so that the upper dimension masculines wouldn't want anything to do with us. So we are being reconciled because there is an understanding. Divine masculine of these upper spaces know what's been happening to us. This clown took a gamble and prostituted our energy, and then dressed up in it and pretended as though they were all that value while you were nothing but trash. Yep. They're going to have eternal regret for what they did to the daughters and the sons of Eden. Absolutely. You've solved the puzzle of what has been going on here. You were able to break through. You pushed past limitation. You chose discipline rather than comfort. You chose clarity and sobriety rather than hiding away. You came into yourself. And now this uninvited guest is drinking because you have the keys to the home. You are the key. You're getting the keys. This is your sacred space. You are the master. You've earned the crown. And you've got these jackwagons out here trying to molest the energy to make it seem as though you're unworthy. They want to molest the energy and then somehow get in it. It's sickening, really. It's just gross, man. In divine timing, like these, so in divine timing, wrong time, right time, you've been single a long freaking time, but you've got all kinds of evidence here for your research. You did so much. You've experienced so much, and you've got all kinds of irrefutable evidence regarding the past history. And so you've been reconciled. There's an understanding about how they've been violating your energy, your soul, your spirit, lifetime after lifetime, calling you this and nothing more. And it's sickening. Yes, they're getting an ultimatum by the actual royal family, and I believe it's Lyra and all of the other tribes that are here supporting life and their soul, Star Nation soul children, their family that have been trapped here. Yeah, they're going to go into silent mode. They're going to lose all their clairs. They're going to lose all their connections to all of those star roses and trump cards that they had defiled in order to gain that upper dimensional space. You're going to get a new beginning. It's time for you to relax, because this snake is getting, this is the end of their opportunity to prostitute anybody, to make malicious movies and broadcast it out to these upper dimensional beings. This is the end of this snake's illusion regarding you. Your animal friends might be coming out after sunset. Like the animals that they've been sacrificing very well may be hunting them at night. I don't know. But we've got the law of cause and effect is here. The scales are being balanced by the apple, by the sons and daughters of Eden, by those families of the Rainbow Covenant holder. You're here and you're bringing, you're balancing the scales. So there's hope. There's hope here, and maybe you're going to get what you have always hoped for. You're going to get your reconciled encounter. Yeah. The mirror, so your reconciled encounter. So the mirror might be trying to appear, though. It could be that the mirror that has been appearing or pretending to be you is the actual addict. You've solved the mystery. It was criminal. They were having reckless sex and entangling souls and then transferring somehow soul value and golden tickets and whatnot, karmic debts and such. They're real mad because it seems those days are over. Or they will be. The money worshiper needs a miracle, or maybe you've got a miracle. It's seen clearly what they have been doing. You know, they've been playing games, magical illusions, using our own energy and our own gifts and talents that they stole when we were just children, when they defiled us. And they've been presenting themselves as though those gifts belong to them all along, and it's just not true. It's just not true. So we've got getting left behind. These third-party affair, these toxic third-party enemies are getting left behind by the twin flames. And yeah, they're feeling like shit because we're fed up. They're feeling like shit because we are fed up. The Heavenly Father is fed up. The Heavenly Mother is fed up. All of the aunties and cousins and relatives all out there, they're all fed up. All of the Star Nation soul tribes throughout the multiverse who, I don't know, did they come here to have an experience? They're fed up. Everybody's fed up with all of that broadcasting suffering throughout the universe. We're all fed up. They're feeling like shit. They took a gamble, and there's bad news here. They were lying about everybody. They were defiling, degrading, and then covering them in the blame and the shame of their transferred sin. It was sickening how they were defiling these little children's, these big bad men. They're angry that the story is coming out. You know, they threaten all the time, but it's like, you know, I'm only alive because God and the family of God decided that it should be so, and I'm hoping that they continue to think that. Self-love. Yep, there's no more, they can no longer communicate or send message to those people who love themselves. These nasty jacks, they cannot communicate with you. They got to stay out of your energy. And they're ashamed of themselves. They're ashamed of themselves. They gambled with you. They married you, they gambled with you, and they can no longer message you. You love yourself. They have to go walk the walk. Knight of Pentacles, they were working hard. Casanova was banging as many as he could. Those little kids, oh yeah. I think that's why they're into that pedophilia stuff, because they're gathering the spiritual inheritance. They're popping that flower. They're tagging that vajiji or whatever it is, that the corpuscles. They're tagging it, and then they're draining it. And this is how they've been gaining their profit. This is the merchandise of the earth angels, is how they've been supplying their decency or their decent life or the appearance of decency, but there's no decency in them. This is how they do it. This is their profit system throughout the realm. And there's other dimensional doorways that they live in, and they come over here just to feed, right? They come here to feed. So, Knight of Pentacles has been working on a routine to be a Casanova. He's just been banging this and banging that. Gathering talent. Gathering your personality. Identity. They're losing sleep. And they're replaying what it is that they've been doing. And they're not happy that you are free. They're one of their third parties. Guilty and embarrassed. They're not happy because you love yourself and you're free. You're in this union here, and they can no longer tap into you. They're not happy. They're losing sleep. You're free. You have hidden talents that were not activated until God decided it was time. And good, it's fortunate, because these ones would have taken those too. So we got nostalgia here. This dude, this masculine, was only interested in chasing material gain. And he and his cohort were doing things in the shadows and then coming back to the upper dimension as them. They were sacrificing divine beings and stealing their identity, and then presenting themselves in these upper dimensional spaces as that identity. And then what? Then they were siphoning the wealth out of people there. Sacrificing their spouse, giving them a replacement, commanding the upper realm. Once they get rid of everybody, it's theirs, right? So they're losing sleep. But we've got Mr. Arrogant, Mr. My Way, wants to continue doing love spells on the rose. He's sick. Look at him, Mr. He's sick. He's got a sickness. He's an arrogant jerk off. And we're doing our research there. This dude is a money worshiper, and he thinks that money comes from the head of his penis, I suppose. Needs a miracle. You got a miracle. Happily single. You're going to get what you want. They wanted what they wanted. They came in. They defiled you. They took what they wanted. It was unfair. There's punishment here. They had a lack of accountability in this lie. They've been found guilty of this pizza girl infidelity. They've been going out banging this and banging that and touching everything. And now we got family ties. Giving an ultimatum. They're losing their clairs. They're going silent. They can no longer send messages to those people who love themselves. They got to stay out of their head. They got to stay out of their energy. They're going silent. They're being made silent. They will not be able to ask anybody to marry them or to tell anybody that they love them. They're not going to be able to do love spells or any of that shit. No more coercion. The mental and the energetic, this jerk off, this love spell, and then this telepathy, I love you, and then showing up and saying, ew, I'm your person. Yeah, this kind of entrapment is ending. Knight of Cups is right here in the environment. He's coming forward with a proposal. He's looking at your piggy bank, and he needs to be saved by you. He needs to be covered by your energy. He wants to tap into your finances, to your fortune, He wants to tap in to the fortune of the twin flames, but it's too late. He wants to tap into the fortune, the finances of the twin flames, but it's too late. We've got this magician made you push up love up the hill all by yourself, and we got intuition. It could be that this magician is now in a perpetual cycle of pushing love up the hill just to have it roll back down. And they know it. They're having a sixth sense. They know exactly what they did to you, and they know exactly what's going to happen to them. And they're messed up. All that mental magic is on them at the same time that they got to try to get that love up the mountain. It's going to be a challenge. I mean, you know, it was a challenge for you. So we got the Moon card. It could be that there is a mystery. Your destiny is a mystery. Your person might miss you. They're eager for you. You might be eager for them. It's this dream. It's got to stay hidden. Can't be alerting the enemy. They might better try to come. Look, miss you, ghosted, off and on, detached. You're moving into your destiny. Somebody's afraid you're moving into your destiny. Somebody's in fear, having anxiety. You're moving into your destiny. They miss you. They're eager to get back with you, but they detached from you. They detached, and they're having massive regrets for separating, for backstabbing you, for ghosting you. They miss you. They're afraid. They're in fear. You're moving into your destiny with your twin flame. And this dude is done. They're done. It's done. Oh, they miss you. They're going to miss you. It's going to be, yep, they separated from you and they backstabbed you so that they could be fake busy while pretending to be married to you. But they were really hanging out with your replacement. They thought it was a great idea to go ahead and destroy the love of a beautiful person. So they got married to be fake busy. Knight of Cups got married to tap into your piggy bank. The piggy bank of the twin flames. This is a false flame. They tapped in, and then they wanted the easy lifestyle. So now they're going to the police station for pretending that they love you when they really hated you. This spiritual guru is in a downward spiral. They were tapped into your mental body, and they were pretending that they were a psychic. But they don't actually have any gifts, and they have no advice to offer anybody except, hey, let's go F word in the freaking bed, shall we? Whoo! They're spying on you from secret accounts, and there's legal matters regarding all of the energy, all of the life force, all of the souls that they consumed. There's a firestorm of karma here, and those people who do not belong to God's family are being blocked. They're going to go into the fire. And it could very well be, you know, that, I don't know. I mean, this whole place is supposed to burn. And, you know, maybe they're going to say that, you know, we're not part of God's family because we're going to be present here. And I don't know what's going to happen. I honestly thought about spraying my house with a fire retardant, to be honest. But I don't know. I mean, whatever happens will be what is supposed to be. I mean, I'm connected, and I know that I am. And I know that all of our other people out there are too. So somebody's thinking about what they did in the past, and they're drinking to cope. They're like, oh no, Jezebel is unemployed. Jezebel is unemployed. They will not get a job. Nobody wants to hire her. Why? Because they put Divine Feminine in the freaking coffin and then cast the illusion that they were her. They are sacrificing. So you're going to get your wish. You're going to get romance. Or it could be that they were stealing your wish with romance, doing reckless sex. And then a sacrifice, forcing you to go in and live learn their karmic lessons. This thug is getting bad news. Bumping heads is no longer permitted. Like, they can't download anybody else's soul value or memories or clairs or any of that anymore. They're in their feelings. The cycle left you hanging, but they don't want to let go. So they're out there. What they want to do is they want to wear a mask, and they want to come in and pop the question. Be aware The knight is right here in the environment, looking at your piggy bank and your big old wad of cash, your fortune, the fortune of these twin flames. They want to come in and take it, but it's too late. But they're still going to try. Ooh, look at that. We got this too. Well, guys, I got 2 more decks here I'm going to use because that's just it. It's just it. They're real upset. They're real upset. And they're threatening lives. So they're in this disappointment. They're getting left behind. They're the third party enemy. They're getting left behind by the twin flames. They're fed up with it. And these ones are feeling like SHIT. Super bad. They're feeling so bad. Because twin flames are fed up. Stalking their socials. So they're stalking your socials. They're probably listening to this video. They want to get upset. They want to get upset. Somebody said something on my thing that I needed to give them a safe place to go. I was like, shit, man, I'm almost 60. Do you know how many times I did not have a safe place to go? And I had nobody to help me. I had to figure it out, man. It's weird to me that we got strangers out there demanding that people they don't know give them a place to go. It's weird. And they're angry about it. So you got the 2 of Cups, marriage connection. They gambled you, and they got some bad news. They're no longer able to message you. You who love yourself, they're ashamed and embarrassed and in the wrong. You always loved yourself, and they can no longer tap into you. What they did to you was heinous. So it's like, you love yourself and they cannot message you anymore. And this person here that's ashamed, they're like, I never meant enough. So now they're going back into their South Node self because you love yourself. So this is their mental condition that they have been trying to push into the mirror of others. They succeeded with me at the age of 13. I spent all summer singing songs to the forest, man, wandering through the forest all day, all summer, and I was singing songs every day, all summer. And then as soon as I hit 14, I got into school, and it was like all of a sudden, every other word out of my mouth was an F word, and I was so full of rage and anger. They did this magic trick on me back then. A bunch of ass wipes. And then they gave me this karmic attitude where I never meant enough, nobody ever loves me. Yeah, they're ashamed of it because they completely had everybody in the world rejecting you. Casanova was doing this on the routine in order to gain other people's talent. Jezebel is not happy. They're losing sleep. They're replaying the events, thinking about you. You're moving on. They got to let you go, and you are free of this scenario. They're desperate to get you back. They're talking about 3D attacks and, this viciousness that comes with men who worship war, and they're off their freaking rocker with their stupid little girl pageants, their little girl beauty pageants. Yeah. Can't believe parents actually took their kids to that and didn't investigate what was really happening. So yeah, whoever's been they're embarrassed, they're ashamed. You always come back. See, they're complaining that you always reincarnate and you always come back to continue pushing that love up the mountain. You never give up. Your soul is freaking phenomenal. And they bring you here and they fill your mind with this shit by attacking you when you're just a child. And they disrupt your waters way back then. They make it hard water. And then they project all of this projections, this concentration of negativity into you, and then they disrupt your whole life. So you're free of that. They're losing sleep. You always come back. Nostalgia, chasing after material gains, unfinished business, back and forth. They were crossing the half-court line, and they were doing things with the purity of the rose, this defilement of the pizza girls and boys, and it just was not. It was not the proper way to gain, man. They're mad, and you may feel a prick, like a poke in your vagina, or even in your anus, or maybe in your nipples, or in your solar plexus, maybe even like up here on the top. They're trying to drive rods or whatever so they can get more signal. It's crazy, man. Muted, not moved on. So they're muted. They're not moved on. They're hiding their feelings. They are in a state of fake calm. So they're fake calm. They're doing love spells, trying to get their way. They're trying to tap into your 10 of Pentacles, chasing petty gains. You've got long-term discipline rather than short-term comfort, Rose. You did the work, and you got these people out there in their nasty little sex magic doing shit, trying to get a prize. And the truth hurts. The truth hurts. Reality check. The Hermit's here doing research on those who worship money. They need a miracle. They were happy single. You were their miracle. Love bombing. Confused. Yeah, they were happy single. They needed a miracle. They needed to tap into you, and then they needed to leave you alone. We've got this. Should have been done. Dragging on. So, it's over. It's over. It's done. There's no more denial. And this says you never showed up, and it's in the reverse. Somebody showed up. Your twin showed up. So the twin flame showed up. And now it's done. It's done. This love bombing stuff and this confusion stuff is done. You're getting a miracle. There's a punishment here for what they've been doing to the children. They're getting an ultimatum by the upper dimensional families. They're being silenced from proposing anybody. This coercion through marriage contract is going to be silenced. We're done explaining. No more justification. There's a silent exit and energy protection. The Most High God is not going to allow these people to come in and defile the babies. You know, when you're 4, you should get more than molested by 2 full-grown men. It's awful. So they're being silenced. They're being silenced. But in the environment, we got this Knight of Cups coming in, looking at your savings account. They want your finances of this twin flame, and it's too late. They want the finances of the twin flames. It's too late. It's too late, man. What if? Regret, over analyzing. So they're in regret. It's too late. They're in regret. They're stuck with their karma, their toxic ties, their addictions. They're stuck with it. They can't transfer their effed up crap to you. They can't take credit for what you've been doing. But they have hope. I mean, hope and fear. They got a magician here pushing love up the mountain. They're using their intuition. It could very well be that the magician is now going to have to push that love up the mountain over and over and over again, like you did. All by themselves, why everybody's being so mean, while they're effed up in the head. Yes, while their sixth sense is effed up. They're going to have to push that. When they got people, thousands of people telling them how little they mean to the world, they're going to have to try to find love in themselves and then push it up that mountain. Because that's what you've been doing lifetime after lifetime. And once you finally succeed, they push you back down and steal your honor again and again and again. That's what they've been doing. They're still out there trying to do it. They have to get physical with it now because all their magic and all their manipulations, it's not working. We got woke up different, shifted energy, done tolerating, silent strength. You woke up different. You're done tolerating these people. They're messed up over you. They're afraid of you moving into your destiny. They miss you. They detached from you, and they're having massive regrets about separating from you, backstabbing you, causing you pain with this cheating and deception, messing with your mind, playing love games. Stupid jerk. Well, no contact freaking zone. Now there's a no contact zone. They cannot get into your energy. There's no more messaging you. They cannot connect with you. If they do, there's severe consequences. They have violated you over and over and over again. And it has been going on for lifetimes. This is a no contact zone. Because they are a mask wearer. They smile in your face while strategizing on how to unalive you. And you deserve better. So your soul came back online. God recognized you, said you deserve better, and wrote you into the book of life, or put you back in the book of life. These guys, they had disconnected you, and then they've been wearing your personality and your memories for a long time. Your soul is back online. They were trying to, say that you had defiled yourself, sold your soul, did whatever, and they were acting terribly. And the upper dimensions, your heavenly Father is like, oh. But now, guess what? There's a prodigal son and a prodigal daughter. They're all coming home. Your soul is back online. You've got your halo. You're full of light. You deserve better. You're being empowered. There's a spiritual reset and an energy return. So you are healed, not hooked. You got freedom, detachment, and clarity. While this person over here is going to have to do the cycle repeat. The cycle repeat of love me, leave me on red. So now they're going to get to go have the experiences that you had. They're going to go target this person. They're going to love bomb them, and then they're going to leave them. And they're going to leave them there to manage their own life and figure it out by themselves. Because we're seeing clearly the illusion has cracked, and there is awareness here. So now for this last deck, I haven't used this one yet. I'm going to see how it adds to the story. They're in the environment, they're still trying to hook up, but it's not going to happen. So, I mean, unless you let it, but so they want to be done by September. Whoever it is that's resetting, and I think it's the twin flames, these upper dimensional warriors that are here, male and female. They want to, but the commander or whatever wants to be done by September. I suppose that would be who it is, and everything's coming apart here. Now these guys, there's something that's supposed to be done by the end of April as well. So we got a few different things going on, apparently. And somebody posted from Iran before they were bombed and said that this was going to be over by the end of April. So I don't know what's going on. All right, so we got the third-party enemies are disappointed. They're getting left behind by the twin flames because we're fed up with them, these third-party enemies. They're feeling like shit. They're stalking your socials. They're secretly obsessed and lurking. Lotus eyes. Enlightenment visible through the eyes. Third eye, reflection of cosmic energy within. They might be trying to look into your eyes. They want to get reconnected. They've been cut off from source. They're ashamed. They realize they never really meant enough. They're getting rejected by this person or by the upper dimensional space. They were never supposed to be there. They never did the work. They violated somebody who had been doing the work for lifetimes, over and over and over again. Somebody who actually still, after all of that abuse, loves themselves. They're not able to contact this person anymore. They can't prove whatever it is that they tried to prove. There's no messages. There's no records. There's no call records. You can't fix them. They're too broken. You can't fix them. They were playing games with you. Mind games. Lies. Attempts to disempower. Manipulation. Intimidate. Knowing how to outwit, influence, control, narcissistic personality. You can't heal them. You can't fix them. They're just too broken. So the Knight of Pentacles has been working on a routine as Casanova, siphoning the talents out of the youth. And somebody's not happy. They're losing sleep because you always come back. You always try again, and you finally got free. You finally got free. Energetic grounding. You're grounded with the mother. You're grounded with the mother. You're supported by the mother. Yeah. So in the history, we've got this Casanova valuing monetary wealth over emotional bonds. And they were unaliving people in the shadows and then pretending that they were that person up in the upper dimensional spaces. They are fake calm. They might be in that upper dimensional space trying to hide the fact that they don't actually belong there. Yeah. Doing love spells. They're doing love spells on people. Trying to tap in to their 10 of Pentacles. Take flight. Take flight. You left. You're free. They're not calm anymore. They are freaking out because you have taken flight. They're doing love spells on you, trying to violate your womb, your sacred essence. The truth hurts. This is exactly what they're doing to the roses. They're trying to re-violate and defile the rose to gain their 10 of Pentacles. So this nasty Jack and his little Jezebel are doing sex magic in these upper dimensional spaces, trying to tap into the twin flames and defile them so that they can take over that personality. Affliction, delusion, suffering, and that's exactly what they gave, and that's exactly what's coming back to them. Yeah. Over and over again. And it's going to be silent. There won't be anybody except themselves and whoever it is that's causing it. Their little demon friends. The Hermit is here doing research on money worship. You're getting a miracle. Somebody wanted a dream come true. Stress-free. Love bombing. Intense start, sudden withdrawal, confusion. So, yeah. You might have met somebody. Somebody is a money worshiper. They need a miracle. They're happy being single, but they love bomb people. So it's over now, though, because you showed up. We've got expectation, waiting, and hope. And unexpected income. So you might be getting some money. You showed up. You might be getting some money for all that these guys did. They stole lifetimes from you of energy, of life force, of happiness while they made you suffer and transmute their sin, their karmic debt. And they claimed it was you all along. So now there's a punishment here because of what they've been doing to the children They're getting an ultimatum by the divine parents who actually love children. And they're getting silent. They will no longer be messing with people's minds or manipulating people with this I love you crap. We're done explaining. There's no more justifying. Energy protection. Spiritual guides are your shield. And this fella is reaping what they sow. You all reap what you sow. We all reap what we sow. So spirit guides are here to shield. You're reaping what you sowed. These I love yous from these nasty jacks, it's over. We're done explaining. We're protecting the energy now. That's it. That's it. We're protecting the energy because Casanova has been trading the energy in for money. They've been tapping into somebody who has energy, who has gifts, and they've been sacrificing them to their God, and then they've been trading it in for money. So it's too late for these toxic ties to tap in with the twin flames. They're addicted. They've got a lot of karma to deal with. They're in regret. They're a false person, a fake, hiding true character. That's what they are, but it came out in the reverse. We're not dealing with any false people anymore. So it's too late for them. They're a false person. This magician has, I guess, a fear that they're going to be pushing this love up the mountain, and their intuition is all effed up. Like they're going to be getting Elon Musk satellite disturbances through their mind or whatever. They woke up different. The energy has shifted. You're done tolerating them. You've got a silent strength, and you're enjoying the silence, and it's so nice. Today, it's been so quiet, guys. This is the 23rd year, and I still hear them, but they're very quiet, and it's like they're secretly strategizing or something. That just means, you know, it's not going well for them because, you know, they're no longer arrogant and loud, very robust, and with their threats. We got the moon card here. It could be that there's somebody's afraid of you moving into your destiny. They miss you. They detached from you. And there are massive regrets for separating from you. They're reflecting on deceiving you, playing mind games with you, causing you pain, cheating on you. This is a no contact zone. They cannot get into your energy. There's severe punishment if they get into your energy. It's a command. They must respect you or treat you with respect, and there's a protection order over you. This is a no contact zone, and it's being enforced. Phases of the moon. They might have done something. They might have done some moon magic. Maybe that's what that energetic sex magic was. I don't know. If you want peace, prepare for war. Game over. Phases of the moon. They may have done some magic on the moon cycle. And we got something that's hidden from you. So we've got mockery, attempting to disguise fear. You could have ancient teachings that have illuminated your mind. You may not be aware of this. It could be your spirit self. I don't know. Take it as it resonates. But somebody's afraid. They could be lighting a candle, doing some prayers, because you are in alignment. Your energy is flowing. Your heart is like a lotus flower, a beautiful bloom. God help anyone who disrespects the queen. So somebody's receiving a gift, an illness, because your soul has been activated. You've been recognized. We got death here. Death here for the karmic bonds. Unresolved issues from a past life. And it's over now. You don't own me. Detachment. Escaping. Freedom. Why? Because you were able to balance your emotions. You were able to stay balanced. So you are burning bridges with those who schemed all the time to deceive you. So you're burning bridges with them. You're burning the bridge with them, and it is a do not enter freaking zone. The universe is guiding you in the right direction. These people are going to prison for what they have done in the world. Yep. So there's a sad message of concern for somebody. There's been an energy shift. The rainbow. Yeah. Well, that's what I got for you, everybody. I hope that this brings clarity to something that you already intuitively knew. It looks like you're going to be getting some unexpected income. Yeah. And they're afraid of you moving into your destiny with your twin flame. You're very strong. You're very talented here. All that talent that they had trapped and used to hurt you and to hurt others is free and now in a union with somebody else. And those gifts and talents are, where is that? Those gifts and talents. Too late. Too late. I hope that clarifies stuff, everybody. I'll see you on the next one.